Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. Before we start, smash that like button, subscribe to the page. Got any comments, concerns, anything like that or whatever, leave them down below and we can get to it. I'm going to jump right into this. I was reading the article, or kind of grazed through it and whatnot, where you have the certain 49 players, 49ers, certain of the players were talking about. The article was basically about how Jimmy G, Garoppolo is not getting a lot of attention from that 6-4 and how good of a season that he's having and whatnot thus far. And I thought it was funny simply because it was 10, 11 weeks ago, they was running this guy out of town. For no reason, but they say, well, we got Trey Lance, and Trey Lance gets hurt. When he gets hurt, like in the first game or two, first game, he gets hurt, out for the season. They was getting ready to run this guy out of town. Now, I have no sympathy of being sorry for anything about Jimmy Garoppolo, simply because I already talked about this when he got traded, when that was back in I think I want to say that was 2017 season and whatnot, in the middle of the season, 2017 season. He ended up finishing with a 5-0 record, and at 5-0 record, when they did that 5-0 record, also got him to that going into the 2018, getting ready to go to the 2018 season in February 8th, 2018. He signed a 5-year, $137.5 million contract and $90 million in guaranteed bread. Okay. That was you, Jimmy G. I was just like, and I remember I did a show, and the show said, don't give him the gold jacket yet. Because 49ers went off there, just went completely crazy. Oh, this is it. And I even got jokers was throwing darts at me simply because I said he hasn't the first couple of times he hadn't even done what Kaepernick did. And Jokers was talking all that mess. And I'm just like, I mean, guys, he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. His record says that and everything like that. Now, the thing about my whole issue by the time with Jimmy G, when it get a little sticky, he has a tendency to not be as accurate when things is going well. Just go back to that Super Bowl against the 49ers, against the Chiefs. He had that dude wide open. First half of the game, he hitting that. Second half, because it ain't wide open. That's why his game and Kirk Cousins' game is a little similar. Although I give the edge to Jimmy G simply because Jimmy G is more athletic than that of Kirk Cousins. He's more athletic than Kirk Cousins, and he has a better arm than Kirk Cousins, in my opinion. And both kind of the same player, but give the edge to Jimmy G because, like I said, because he's more athletic. But that's the whole thing about with Kirk Cousins. Just like case in point, this when they played this past for Thanksgiving and whatnot, everything was great, good. I mean, everything was hitting on all cylinders. He was hitting on when they're winning or when they're up. And they're winning and everything is clicking as far as that goes. And he's in the flow of thing. Yeah. Kirk Cousins it appears to be an elite quarterback, but it ain't gonna always be like that. A case in point, when they went against Dallas last week, he couldn't get anything going on at all. He couldn't get anything going on and whatnot. But he was in the flow of things and whatnot. So that's how it is. But but when the game gets a little tight, he get the butterflies in the stomach. You're like, oh, it's on me now to make something happen. And that's what I've always said. So sort of kind of the same thing with Jimmy G, even though Jimmy G has been to a Super Bowl. And I think that's one of the things that Sam say he choked, even though I guess they even want to say that he choked pretty much in this past year in the 2022 NFC Championship game against the Rams. Okay, so that whole thing there. So because of that game, pretty much, and the way they were looking the whole summer, whole offseason was about him not going to be, they're going to get rid of Trey Lance is our guy because they think Trey Lance, in so many words, in the way I look at it, they think Trey Lance is the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. This is what Patrick Mahomes 2.0. They honestly think he's that. So, okay, only time will tell when it comes to that. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see with all that. But that's the funny part about that business. He was there about 10, 11 weeks ago. He's running them out of town. Now it's old man. He's all of those ball all of those jock riding jokers now that they 64 with Jimmy G. He's this, he's that. Even though I think Jimmy G may leave, I saw somewhere where Steve Young was saying he hopes he plays there another 10 years. And I'll tell you why Steve Young said that. And I didn't even have to read the whole article because I know exactly why he said that. Y'all roll with me on this, because y'all guys know I'm a numbers guy. Let's go over here. Jimmy G has been in the league since 2014, if I'm not mistaken. He's been in the league since 2014. Okay? And yeah, since 2014. Okay? So in the amount of games, so right now, his total record with everything, he's 38-17, 36-17 with that of the 49ers. Okay, 2-0 when he's over there with New England. Now he was supposed to replace Brady, but Kraft wasn't gonna let that happen because because Belichick was ready to move on and whatnot. Make you think what kind of a team that they possibly have with him being at the helm since 2017, 2018, who knows? Okay. But this is the thing that's interesting about Jimmy G. And this is what I said, because people talk a lot of stuff and you don't look at things. When guys miss games, that's no wear and tear on their body. So I expect certain things from them after you have no wear and tear on your body, because you're not going through the rigors, especially if you've missed or haven't really played a lot. So Jimmy G basically has let's see here, game started. It was a game, 72 games or 55 games started, right? You look at this. You go back to 2016, he played 2 games. Started in 5 games when he came to the 49ers. Now, I'm not going to deal with that. 10 games or more. The first time Jimmy G has played 16 games in the season is in 2019. 2019, when they went 13-3 and went to the Super Bowl and would lose to eventual champs, Kansas City Chiefs. That's the first time at age 28, after being in the league since he was 23. That's the first time that he played a full 16-game season. 10-game minimum, but 16-game season. What happened the next year? He misses 10 games. He blew his knee. He missed 10 games in 2020. Right? I think I say he blew something. Because this is, like I said, because after the 2017 start, and then he basically missed the whole season going into in 2018. He missed he missed what? 13 games. He missed 13 games due to injury there. Then they go 13-3, come back. Then he misses. Was he 3-3? Plays 6 games. He missed 10 games. Then last year, he plays 15 games. They go 9-6. They get to the championship game, get to the NFC championship game and whatnot. I'm not even going through with the stats and stuff like that. So you're looking at someone who just started for the first time in his career in 2019 at the age of 28. At the age of 28, first time that he started 10 games, that he started a whole season and went through a whole season. So far, Jimmy G has only played like a full season only 2 times after being in the league since 2014. So he's been in the league 9 years, and he has only made 2 seasons where he's played 10 or more games, with the 15 to 16 games. And we'll see what happens here, because it's still about 8, 9 more games left, I believe. Only the second time in his career. And he's 31. So at 28 was the first time that he went where he played a full NFL season. First time. And he's only played the full season up until this point. Not 2022 isn't over yet. He's only played a whole season, basically 15, 16 games, twice. 2 times. That's it. So he should be fresh as a daisy. No wear and tear. I mean, his knees and stuff like that. I mean, he blew his stuff or whatever. But as far as the physical thing of, I mean, you think about the amount of games that he hasn't played. So he should be fresh. So I would expect a lot out of him. But like I said, I'm not going to, people don't give me, talking about it, but I'm like, but y'all was just writing him off there just the other day. But he ought to be fresh as a daisy. You think about it. Because this is going to, if he finishes this season here, this will be only the third time in a 9-year career that he has played a full NFL season game, 10 or more games. But they finished the whole season out. First time, I say, only be the third time in a 9-year career. And only the third time as a 49er after being with the 49ers now for 6 years now. Okay, so we're going to see what's going to happen with him and whatnot. 49ers, they got some pieces there. I know they're trying to say the 49ers is this, that, and the other. They got Debo, they got McCaffrey, and they got some of the other guys, pieces there. We'll see what happens. I think the second coming to million dollar backfield, which I might actually do a show on that because it's a lot of folklore and stuff like that in NFL and whatnot. But when you really do some deep diving and stuff like that, things might be nice. It sounds good, but in actuality, it wasn't all that good. You think about the $1 million backfield, they was together for about 4 years. They only really had one good season together. All the rest of them was basically losing seasons. But there was the $1 million backfield or whatever. It's funny because you thought there was this great backfield and all. In all actuality, 1 year they had it. They had great players. The great players end up getting traded, going on and doing great things and becoming Hall of Famers. But at those 3 or 4 years there in San Francisco 49ers, it was Joe Perry, Wyatt Tittle, John Henry Johnson, and I want to say Hugh McElhaney. All of that, and so I'm kind of looking at over that. They trying to peg some of that stuff, just peeping it out. But yeah, Jimmy G is going to be interesting after the season and whatnot. And he's played good, 5-3 right now. He's played good. So everything is kind of clicking and going on with them for right now. But to say that he hasn't gotten any props or whatever, give him props for what? I'm like, he's just getting ready to play in this third full. He's only made a full season twice in a 9-year career. And like I said, I'm gonna give him 3. I'm gonna say he's gonna just say for shits and giggles. He's going to make it through this season. Only 3 times in 9 years. So he should be fresh as a daisy. He should be sharp. He got weapons. He got a lot of stuff. So a lot's going to come with him. But I'm like, but to say he's being overlooked, I'm like, nah, he needs to be treated the way he's basically been treated. Just let him end up doing something. Because he hasn't really done anything yet. He went to Super Bowl 13-3. That's been his best season since he's been in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, and then got hurt the next year. Basically, like I said, missed 10 games. And then went 9-6 last year. And he probably going to come out with a winning record this year. So we'll see what happens, though. But again, like I said, we'll see. We will see. But I'm like, but no, don't pay that much attention because he hasn't really done aside from going to the Super Bowl. He got there, but he lost. But we'll see what happens with this. But is he he's solid quarterback, but he still hasn't done that yet, and it shouldn't be any excuse for him because like I said, this will just be his third time finishing the season. All right. Hey man, just wanted to throw that to you guys. I might be back a little later on, go over them 3 games and whatnot that was played over Thanksgiving and whatnot. Like I tell you guys all the time, there's no GOAT, there's no greatest of all time as long as time's still going on. And numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do. You guys have a good one.